We're back live and direct. So I'm your host,
Just,
Bobby Joe.
I don't know why you laugh every time you say your name, but
I don't
okay.
know why. It's funny. It's country.
Well, I mean, if you add the Joe, then yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
just
yeah.
say, well,
I'm
I don't know.
saying
I can't call you name
B,
country.
B Joseph. I got it from.
Yeah.
I said I'm gonna sound cool like F. Gary Gray. So B Joseph sounds better than
Right,
Bobby
right.
Joe.
Gotcha, gotcha. Gotcha, guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm a CJ. I
So
don't want
so
to leave. I don't want to leave that out.
you want to leave that?
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Not
So
man, chilling.
chilling,
Chilling.
working.
As they say, chilling, chilling. I'm just chilling.
Yeah, me too. I'm chilling. I'm waiting for these games. Well, they're probably starting soon. I'm waiting for these games. I might go out. We'll see what happens.
Well, okay.
Uh, greatest wide receiver 50 to ever play flag football, but that's a whole nother podcast. So, man, I wanted to get right into it. I saw some things on Facebook. I was reading this thing about deal breakers or some stuff, or would you date? Uh, while you're separated? Should you date while you're separating? Things you need to know. And I just thought it would be an interesting, topic to get into because I know some people do it, and some people are like, I know separated still equals married, so I can't date you, and we can't go out. Um, but it's just interesting. I knew this too because I know one of the things you got to worry about too, and I forgot. In some states, your spouse can sue the person you're dating.
True. That is. It can.
Yeah,
It can. It can affect the alimony if there's alimony in a state. I do know that.
right, right. I think
Uh,
Mississippi is one of those states, if I'm not uh, mistaken.
really.
Yeah, I
I
think Mississippi is one
Yeah.
of those states.
I do not know the states. I can't pretend like I do. But all I know is California, Ohio, and that's just off of experience from people I know that live there that actually pays alimony.
Right.
So and the ones that I know that pay the alimony is because it was actually did get caught out in a situation dating, or I'm saying dating, just out with another person while they were separated.
hmm Yeah, I think the term, and I'm looking at it right here. I got it up. Alienation of affection. They can sue them for alienation of affection, or blame you for the adultery and use it as a base for divorce.
So how do you feel? I mean, like, what do you think about dating while separate? I mean, like, if you're in that, first of all, I'm gonna say, would you do it while you're separated?
Yes. I mean, no, I mean, I don't, I'm not knocking anybody who, and I want to say like I'm judging anybody for doing it. Do, hey, you like it, I love it.
Uh,
I've done it. Um, I've,
you've
I've,
done it?
I've, no, I've dated people who were, you know,
Oh, okay.
separated.
I was like,
Yeah.
wow, okay.
Yeah, separated. Yeah, I mean, it could get complicated real fast. That's how I think it could get complicated real fast. If especially if that, you know, uh, if you are in the process of getting a divorce, or if the separation is messy, and there's still some jealousy involved, maybe some hatred, strong dislike. Depending on the parties involved, it may not even be worth your trouble. I go from a guy's perspective. I don't care how fine she is. She got all those problems going on. Maybe you need to handle that first, and then we can, after you get that divorce or whatever, then we can come back together as a union and date or whatever.
So I actually, so being separated is considered a problem to you? Like, you think that's a
No,
problem?
no,
Like,
no, no. I'm saying being the stuff that maybe comes along with like the divorce. If you're getting a divorce, it may be long and drawn out. Because you still have that over there. You got to take care of. Um, so that could be a distraction. Uh, let's say I give it just an example. Okay, if I'm dating this woman and she's separated, and there's this bitter divorce going on, or maybe he hasn't even gotten that far, but he's feeling some type of way, and maybe he decides he wants to make her life a living hell, and finds out who I am, and wants to make my life a living hell too, because I'm now dating this woman you're married to. You're separated, but you're married to this woman, and he may feel some type of way about that. So I say it's just it I think it can come with some problems.
All right,
It's
so I'm gonna ask you this. So what is? I mean, basically, you stated about the other guy, but what's the difference in them in her having a long term relationship with someone not married, and they probably were living together and they kind of separated versus being married? What's the big? There's no big difference though. I'm just
one
being
big
devil's
difference.
advocate right now, to be honest. But go ahead.
One big difference is depending on the state we're in, he can't sue me.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. He can't sue you. He could sue the wife.
No, you saying if I thought you meant like the difference is if they're married and they're separated, as opposed to being in a long term relationship with somebody you haven't been married. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we're so I don't. Maybe we need to get
Gotcha.
a legal expert on here, but he can't sue me because they were never married.
No, you were saying that, but here's my thing. You were saying like you were trying to tell her to get rid of all those situations. But my thing is, say for instance, you met a girl
Oh,
that
I
was a
got you.
lady that was in that long term relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it has this dude that's living. I mean,
Oh, I tell her too. Yeah,
what's the separation? I mean,
you need to handle
there's
that too.
what? Come on.
If he's crazy, and he maybe you checked out of the relationship and you don't want to be in the relationship anymore, but he still wants to be. So whether they're married or not, I mean, if you're coming into it and you have some unfinished business you need to take care of, yeah, whether you're legally separate, well, how many different separations are there? Let me look at it.
Ambiguous. There's an ambiguous separation, long
Uh-huh.
term separation, and then there's three type of separations and a legal separation.
Yeah. So if there aren't any major, I don't know, major problems, yeah, I mean, I do it, I guess. How fine is she?
Oh, that has to
How,
play the part.
yeah, how fine is she?
I don't know because I just judge them. I think they're pretty by the minds, not by the faces and body.
Okay.
That's
Well,
why I
then
judge my beauty.
okay, so I'll be the shallow. Uh,
I think you that oop on that
yeah, that's good. I'll be the shallow one.
one.
If it's somebody like Tracy Ellis Ross or Ava DuVernay, then yeah, I would. I'm like, I'll welcome those problems, sweetheart, and then we just we together. I'm in your corner. So would you do it or
It would be it would in my younger years. I would say yes. I probably would have. Probably now I would do it with a lot, like you said, like with a lot of caution, just because. And my caution comes from I just don't want that to happen to me if I were to, get married and
karma?
yeah, the whole karma thing. I'm kind of big on this karma thing, but sometimes the little head kind of outweighs the big head, and I might say, for instance, I might dibble dabble with someone like that, but
Hmm.
now I don't think I would try to shy away from it for the most part. I mean, sometimes I think you can if you can wait, that's fine.
Right.
Let them go ahead and get what they got going on. Let them, clear it out. And I'm probably just kind of recycling everything that you were saying. But I would literally maybe just depending on how much I like them.
What if you can't wait and that love, that burning desire to be with one another, and you can't wait? It's like you guys are destined to be together, and you can't wait.
I just give her money to hurry up the divorce.
Oh, hurry up! Okay.
Nah, I just help pay for the divorce. I don't know. I don't think I would. I don't know because that's one of those things to be hard to say because I don't think I would have that burning love when I know that somebody has somebody else. So I wouldn't allow myself to get to that point. As
Okay.
far as just really loving someone or really liking them, I would literally just not uh get to that point. You know,
You wouldn't let it get that far.
yeah, I would not that far to where I'm just got this burning love, and you got to get to know each other to get to that point anyway, right?
Right.
So
Right.
if you got to know if that's the case, then I'm basically not gonna get there. I push
Well,
away.
some people, they believe in love at first sight. They fall in love and it's instant, a connection. They vibe. I hate that word. They vibe, and then they're
Mhm.
moving in together like 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
They're,
yeah.
you know,
I mean, it happens, but I'm just saying, for me personally, I'm pretty good with a brick wall.
yeah.
You
You
know,
kind of put up.
yeah, yeah. I
Like
know
a
how to
okay.
disconnect. You
Okay.
know,
Now is that that's interesting? Is that like a defense kind of
yeah,
like mechanism?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and I'll be honest, yeah, it's just a defense mechanism for me, a defense thing for me.
Hmm.
Um, if I just don't want to be, I guess in touch with someone. I know how to say to myself, nah, bruh, or
Right.
it's like that's a whole nother subject, but you really just start finding little things that will say, oh, no, I can't be with that person, or because of this reason, that reason, just little
Right.
things, and
Right.
it, and
To
it make
kind
me
of
not, yeah, and it keeps you from doing that. So yeah, I mean, it's a whole nother
yeah
conversation, to be honest.
keeps you from getting too involved. I got you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I I I don't know. I just to answer your question. Yeah, I would do it. First, I'd have to check to see which state we're in. If it's the state that he can't sue me, no, I'm playing. But yeah, I don't know. I just some people will say the right answer is, oh, you need to wait till you get a divorce, and that's I guess that would be the right answer. I don't know. I say to each his own. I'll probably get in trouble for that, but I believe whether it's right or wrong. Hey, do what uh, makes you happy. If y'all can't spend one waking moment without each other, and y'all want to be together like that, hey, I say knock yourself out. With all these relationships, it comes into play all these different things, like we talk about being separated, but let's say you've moved past all that, and I gotta oh, we got somebody coming on.
yeah, somebody want to come in and speak. Hey, someone
Oh, hey,
want
oh,
to
okay,
speak on I guess I'm gonna just say maybe want to speak on it. He come in looking angry though, but
okay.
okay.
Oh, excuse me. Oh,
There you go. You got to come in looking angry on him,
I
I'm
was
sorry. I
I
was
was a
like
little
waiting
scared.
for the phone to come up. I was waiting
Oh,
for the
okay.
phone to come up. I,
And,
I
look at
apologize.
we assume you have something you want to say about this.
and your
I,
name,
I'm,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
ma'am?
Brandy. I'm
Brandy. All right.
Brandy.
Brandy, how you
Yes.
doing, Brandy?
Good to
Hey,
meet
how
you,
are
Brandy.
you?
All
Good
Great,
right.
meeting you.
nice to meeting you.
Please, if you have something you want to say, yeah, please, we'd love to get your perspective.
From a woman perspective, I've tried it.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, you do get emotionally caught up sometimes because women, we are emotional. So it could always end up bad because even if they get a divorce, you don't want to be that person that caused a divorce because they go into a separation. So you don't know if they're, a lot of time they go back for the kids. I've had it where they went back for the kids. They got divorced and they went back for the kids because they feel
Mhm.
like the kids needed them. And it's hurtful because you're like, okay, we just spent all this time together. We started dating like we're in a relationship. And then one day you wake up and they're like, okay, I'm going back for the kids.
So you invested a lot into them.
You invest a lot of time. You get the broken promises, you get the broken idea, this dream that you think that you're looking for. And this man still has some sort of feelings for that person, even though
Mhm.
they're separated because they love them enough to get married to them and have kids with them. And it also depends on how long they've been with that person, how many years they've invested in that person, if they grew with that person and they just kind of grew out of love, or if it was, it just depends on the situation, why they're separated and why they're getting divorced.
Okay.
So it can become emotional and hurtful, and they expect you to understand and not move on, in a sense, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because you get involved, and now you're involved, and now you get caught up. So I definitely would not, until you see the divorce papers and they've been divorced about a year. I do not recommend it for anybody
And
because
well, I wanted to ask you, and not to get too much into your business. How long
that's
were
fine.
you and this gentleman together before he decided he was going to go back?
Oh my God, it was about 9 to 10 years.
Oh,
You guys were together for
Yeah,
9 or
y'all.
10 years?
we started off like, okay, we're just cool, and then it just formed into a really close relationship, and all of a sudden, like, the kids were young, and so all of a sudden one day he's like, I've talked to my ex-wife and I think we're gonna try to work it out. And it's like, where the hell that come from?
Wow.
I'm going, you know what? And that's like a whole, and you know how I jump on all this. So that's a whole nother podcast. But I'm gonna tell you right now, that was your fault.
It was
Livy.
my fault.
That
I'm
was
never
Livy, your
saying
fault.
that it wasn't my. I never disagree on that. Not
But
being
see,
my fault.
but this is what I'm going to say about that, because women they would do those things like that 9 or 10 years with a person saying, and you knew he was separated, and out of 9, 10 years, he never
But he got divorced
divorced.
though. He
Oh, they
got
did
divorced. He
divorce.
did get
How
divorced.
long did he
They
get
did
divorced?
divorce.
At year number 8.5.
No,
what
no.
year was it?
It was probably year number 4 or 5.
Still too long. See, that's just
It
too
was probably
long.
number 4 or
I mean,
5.
if you know they
I agree. I'm not
they need
disagreeing
to
with you. You're
shit to get off
right.
the pot, you know, at that point.
You're right. You're right. But
Okay.
I think as a woman, you go through your own back, and then you think, okay, well, you know what? We're both trying to get to a certain place in our life to be in that place, and you just stick around because you're like, oh God, this person is probably doing everything that you think that you're I guess dreaming of them doing.
Yeah.
And they kind of do it, but then all of a sudden you just wake up one day and you don't. And the signs do lead to that. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it wasn't signs, but at the same time, you're like, okay, well, you know, they do have kids together. Like I have kids, so you're like, okay, they do have kids. They do need to communicate, and all of a sudden, you know, one day you just wake up and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go back to my wife, or you know, they slowly start saying, I'm staying, you know, and if they're from another city, I'm staying in that city, you know, to kind of spend time with my kids, and it just progressed to them going.
So let me ask you this:
person.
so did you not ever ask, like, was there not any type of small type of commitment? Let's say move in together, just any type of commitment at all during that time?
It was commitment. It was conversation. It was, you know, moving to the next level type conversation. And you know, as I always say, you get them broken promises, and you feel like, okay, them promises eventually gonna turn into a reality.
Yeah.
And that promise never turned into reality. And in the back of your head, you're like, okay, you know, I just need you to tell. And you know, women, we're the type of people. I just need closure, so I need you to just tell me because I know what's going on, but I want you to tell me. And it was my fault. I'm not gonna sit here and say it wasn't. I wasted. You know, I'm not gonna say it was. It was a life learning lesson. I would never advise anybody to do that again.
That's a long life lesson for 8-9 years.
Now,
It is.
Do you guys
not to laugh at your situation, but
it is fun. It's fun. I laugh at it.
Okay, I'm gonna laugh then.
You can laugh. I was like, oh, stupid as hell. What the hell was I thinking? I'm sorry. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, I was like, what the hell was I thinking?
No, we all, you know, to be honest, no matter what type of the relationship branding it might have, as far as I say branding, like it might have been, you know, some dating somebody that was half married, somebody married. I mean, we all go through it at some point, you know, just depending on, I mean, just whatever type of branding of a relationship we went through, you know. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I get it, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm knocking you, but I'm just joking around it, you know, for the most part.
Yeah, you can laugh at me. I laugh at myself. It's funny. Yeah. At 43, it's funny. Like I laugh at it now. I'm like, what was I thinking? God.
We've all been through it. We've all had. We could all say we've had situation or something. We look back on and was like, what the hell was I doing?
Exactly.
You live and you learn. So it's not you weren't. I wouldn't look at me personally. Look at it as being stupid. You were just.
I was stupid. I can't. If I tell y'all half of the story, y'all be like, "Ooh, you was kind of stupid," but it's
okay. you were in love.
Okay.
You were in love.
Yeah. Okay.
But you guys cut off all. You don't talk to him anymore.
You know what? A peace of mind is the best thing that you could ever have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
So technically, she still talks to him.
No,
hey, how you doing? Happy birthday.
No, a peace of mind is the best thing you can ever have. So sometimes you gotta let things go, no matter how much you're in love with them, and keep it moving and let God take control. Because a peace of mind is the best thing to have.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
How long? I'm gonna ask you something. How long was he? Can you probably already said how long was he separated when you start talking to him?
He had been separated probably 2 years.
Okay.
That's the story I got. Because a friend of mine introduced me to him. So when you have a male friend of mine introduced her, I was like, okay, cool. You know, you think your homeboy is hooking you up with somebody that's stable, but you know, they don't always.
You know why I asked that is because here's the thing. Men take a longer time when they're separated to date. And I actually looked at the statistics, and it's like 32% of separated women date as soon as they're, while they're separated. 21% of that 32 actually date within 6 months versus a man. The men it's a larger margin. It's up there. They literally wait like, almost a year or so after it, within, anywhere from 8 to a year before they start dating. So just out of the battle of the sex women, man, you just can't trust them. Man.
Well, what some of the old women say. The best way to get over a man to get under another one, and I'm gonna just leave that now. I'm gonna get off.
But see, and that's another thing I'm gonna tell you about. But that's a good one. I'm gonna tell you about that though, because it says that they really say that you shouldn't. If someone was just married and separated, you were probably that rebound for the most part. That first person, especially if they do it within a short amount of time after they separated, you are the actual rebound 9 times out of 10. And then what happens is they usually end up going back to their wife or husband because they end up kind of missing, they tend to compare things, and then they've already had this for a while, then they compare everything to the person that they're dating now, and then all of a sudden they think, oh, the street's not for me. All of a sudden then they go back home, and that's why they say it's good, it's good not to date someone or be the first person that they date when they get separated. It's always, because if you're that first person, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to make it.
Yeah. Agree. So, all right.
Yeah.
I dropped that knowledge. Miss Brandy, we appreciate you coming in here. We thank you very much. Huh?
No, I was going to see if I was going to ask her the other question, but we.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to segue into the other thing and ask her, just to get a woman's perspective since she was still on.
Oh well, we can keep it the whole time if you want to. Then.
Okay, Brandy. So the guy you were seeing. So so this question is from our friend Yolanda, and so the guy you were seeing. I know you guys probably had a lot of things in common. That's you were attracted to him. That's why you started dating him. So what if his were his political views in line with yours? What if his political views weren't? You was just like, oh, this is kind of crazy. Would you been able to date him? Like, what would have been one of your deal breakers?
No. The political views definitely is a no. They was, if they had some negative views, I feel like my views. I'm not gonna say my views are right, but I don't think I could agree and be in the same household or have that same, because the conversation, you're never gonna have a connection. It's going to always be a disconnect because you're going to believe one thing and they're going to believe something different. So it's always going to be a disconnect. Prime example, and I'm going to use this. I grew up Catholic all my life, full-blooded Catholic. And most of the guys I've dated, like from high school all the way up, their mothers were definitely diehard Baptists. And it always been a problem because growing up Catholic, I'm 45 minutes in and I'm out. I'm sorry, I love God, but, after about 45 minutes, I got my word. I'm going to go home and, say my All Fathers, Hail Mary, whatever, move past it. Dating those guys, their parents had a different view. And I guess that would go into political view because they felt like, you're Catholic. I don't understand what you're praying at. Do you pray to Mary? Do you pray? And it was a disconnect. So I'm not in a relationship. I'm single, So those relationships were long-term. But at the end of the day, because their parents didn't disagree with me being, wearing jeans to church, not wearing stockings under my skirt. It was those little different views that realized that I can't go all my life, being with you because we was raised different. So the political views will be that same way. We think different. We operate different. We're going to have a disconnect.
Right.
Okay. So can I go to the other side of that? I'm always the other side. Let me clear my throat. Be serious for a minute. All right. So here's the thing. Like you say, people can date with political differences. The thing is, oh, definitely. And, I always do them stats. 30% of American households that live under the same roof have split political views, right? That's 30%. That's a big.
You think that's a big number? That's a low number.
Oh, that is a big number. That's 30% out of how many, what is it? I don't know, so the numbers from Americans.
So are these households that are married, or are these households that just live together?
Married. This is married. This is a married stat. That's how many that live together. And see, here's the thing.
How long they've been married?
Well, I haven't interviewed all of them. I couldn't tell you. I haven't interviewed all of them. I couldn't tell you how many.
So you interviewed 30% of people that live in the U.S.
I interviewed 30% through the Census Bureau. So,
Okay.
so,
So they're legally married, but they live in
and
the same
Cambridge
household.
University,
So
might I add.
I'm gonna get logic with it. Then they're legally married, but do they live in the same household?
Yes,
That's the
under the
question.
roof.
Like,
That's what I said. Under the keyword, under the roof, on the same. All right.
okay,
So
okay.
I only say that to say this. People can have different political views and still live together, because if you think about it, whoever you're with now, you don't have the same views and other things. It's just your maturity of how you approach that situation.
Okay.
If you have a Republican and a Democrat on one roof, if you're a mature couple, you should at least know enough to say, hey, this will not divide us as a unit, because it's politics more than our marriage, because we're talking marriage. So is politics more than our marriage? We're gonna let that separate us? So I can't be with you no more because you're a Republican, or I can't be with you no more because you're a Democrat, but I love everything else about you.
But
right?
What's the age? Okay, I get that. But what's the age group in that conversation? Like,
That doesn't matter. I said it doesn't about the age, it's the maturity. That's what I'm saying.
No, Bob, you see where I'm going with this, Bob. I'm just trying to ask.
No, he don't see. He don't know
you
either.
See where I'm going with this?
Nope. Go ahead, say no.
Go ahead. Let me.
See, because he don't know. He don't know.
Like,
no.
Because you're getting statistics. I'm listening to you. I'm listening, but I talk.
But you let me finish.
Okay, go ahead. Go
all right.
Finish.
So
finish.
What I was trying to say was, we all have differences within whoever you date. So there's other things just as big as politics when it comes to relationships. So that's why I say you can't let that you can't use that as an excuse to separate you. Other than you probably just want to be separated anyway.
But I think when you're dating, I think it's dating and married. I mean, I think you.
Well, let's go off marriage.
Depends. I can't go off marriage. I'm not married, so
okay. We'll go off dating. We'll go off dating because I am what's it called? I am well versed enough to even have that conversation with you. But go ahead with dating.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, I don't know if that. I don't know. Like, if you go with our old school dating when our grandparents got married and stuff like that. Okay, like Bobby, you're married. Do you and your wife have the same political views? On some subject, on most subjects,
pretty much, and I'm going to say this because CJ brought up
pretty much.
No, we do, but what I'm saying, like, you shouldn't let different political views come between your relationship. But I will say to that, what about? I think if you have deal breakers, because I do. So let's say I wasn't married or I was out here dating, and I go out with somebody. And a trigger or a deal breaker for me is Trump. So if you tell me you voted for Trump, that's a deal breaker for me. We may be able to finish dinner, and then I'm not calling you again. We're not going out again.
Okay, and this, but go ahead. This is why I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm almost extremist when it comes to like not liking Trump. But if I met a young lady that voted for Trump, right? And we're having dinner and we're having conversation and we're having great conversation. Everything is matching up. Everything's perfect. And we get to the point where she's like, well, I voted for Trump. I'm a Republican, blah, blah, blah. I may look at her, but then with my maturity level, I would say, I would approach it in a way of like, well, what made you vote for him? Or what was your reasons? And if she gave me something logical that she thought, then I'm not going to sit there and bang her head, because in that case, I'd probably have to judge on a car she drives, because I don't like women that drive certain type of cars. And then I'll have to delete her. And because it's just like a preference thing. I'm just trying to say, like, it's a maturity. It's a level of maturity. And you find a lot of people don't find their true way and path in life with other people because they closed the door because there was a rock by the edge of the door. When you figure that out, then you will know what I'm talking about.
Well, I guess I haven't reached that level of maturity. There is no valid reason in my mind. Vote for who you want to, but there's no valid reason you can give me for voting for him.
There are, and that's the thing. I've talked to people that was. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Brandon, but there are valid reasons. I've talked to
like 3 times.
Okay. Well, you got it. This, but Bobby, because Bobby never disagrees with me. And I be telling me he need to disagree with me more often. He doesn't. So I'm kind of reveling in the fact that he's disagreeing with me. So what I'm saying is, there are valid reasons people have voted for Trump out of, and here's the thing. Have you ever done something in your life out of not knowing better, and then you figure out later you found out better.
Yeah,
Yes.
spending
All right.
8 years with somebody
Say,
that
and that's
was lower
that's
than
the
what?
exactly. Well, there you go. That's the maturity level. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You have to be able to tap into those maturity levels within yourself. Everybody has maturity. They just don't know how to tap into it. I've tapped into mine because I'm like Neo from what's it called? What's that show called, Bobby? From the
Oh,
Matrix.
the Matrix.
I can tap into the maturity level and say, hey, you know what? Let me give this person a chance. Let me hear them out first. And that's what we're supposed to do. If we never heard out in our entire life, we're going to just be prejudged forever. And
Well,
Okay.
go ahead,
So I'm
Brent.
gonna give
Go
you
ahead.
that, CJ.
Go ahead, Brandy. I
I'm
don't
gonna
want
give you
to.
that, C. Oh, you okay? I'm gonna give you that, CJ. I understand where you're coming from. You explain it very maturity. But I guess when is that conversation coming about the politics? Or is this a first date? Is this like a second date? Or is this the point that we just slept together? Now we're talking about politics, and then I'm gonna say why.
You take both from
Why did
first
you?
date and after.
I say like once you've slept together, whatever, y'all been hanging out for a while, and you've had all these different conversations, and one day politics comes up.
I mean, if you say like, if they say yeah, I voted for Trump and I believe everything you say, I'm like, well, why? Explain to me why. I won't ask that question. Why? I mean, it's not going to stop me to just say, okay, dinner is over. I'm done. Like, I'm leaving you. I need to understand why. And do you have those same actions as Trump? And just because your political views, sometimes you're taught political views. Sometimes you taught a certain thing that you don't know. You just don't know any better. You don't know any better. You know better. You do better once you learn that. So
Right.
I agree with TJ. I agree with you, Bobby. But I think that when is that conversation coming about, and how are they acting like they're fit to be part of Trump game? And that just makes a difference. The action makes it. I mean, I'm not gonna necessarily say, "Hey, I'm gonna leave you right now," because
It
you're part
really
of Trump.
shouldn't matter when it comes up. I mean, the only time it should matter when it comes up is you probably way
was
down
really
the
joking.
road, and then
I
they
was
be like, man, I
joking,
never knew
TJ.
you voted for Trump, huh?
I was really joking about that part.
Oh,
I
okay,
know.
okay, okay. You know me, I get on them.
You get on your soapbox. But what I'm saying, I just don't, it just depends. If the actions are truly everything Trump believes in, then yeah, we might have a problem. If they act like, well, my parents are Republicans and I'm just gonna go vote for Trump, then that's gonna be like, okay, well, tell me your reason why. And they have no reason, then you gotta explain to them why they shouldn't vote for Trump.
But listen to me.
You gotta explain to them.
All right, but listen to me. Does it really
It
matter
no,
if
it
a person
matter.
says they believe in everything that Trump said, but yet they're your key match?
No,
They're perfect for you. You're gonna tell me that that's gonna break you from?
It will me, yes.
Y'all batshit crazy, man. Both of y'all batshit crazy for sex. No disrespect, Brandy, but y'all crazy if you gonna say that.
It will for me. It will for me.
Do you know how many?
So you're
what?
So you're telling me you've dated people that wholeheartedly believe everything Trump believe in, everything as far as the racism goes, you believe in, you still dated them?
Nah, hold on, wait. We ain't talk about the racism part now.
I'm just saying. So that's where when it comes to the politics part, if you're dating someone, no matter what race they come from, and they literally believe in everything, and they're a black person.
We're talking in general and believe in everything. I'm like, okay.
In general, then no. Okay, yeah. In general, I mean, I'm not gonna say why. What's your reason?
If they're sitting there saying they believe in racism, then okay, of course I don't need to be sitting at the table with them.
But I'm saying,
and then of course they wouldn't be sitting at the table with me because I'm black.
You get what I'm saying? But when Trump, certain things and they say, well, Trump said this and I believe him. Trump say, and you start thinking, well, why? I don't understand. And it has something to do with the racism part, so that's where it's kind of tricky. I get where you're saying, CJ.
You don't have to. Here's the thing: you don't have to understand everything about that person and their beliefs into things. You just have to understand the person within those beliefs, and that's the key part. Like a lot of people don't understand. That's the matrix right there. I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
Well, I took the red pill then. Or whatever the pill is.
Listen, all I'm saying. Listen, question to both of you are: have you never been with someone that has did something or believed in something that you didn't understand why, or you like, what the heck? But you still enjoy that time.
Yeah, but for me this is different. Because
tell me
I despise the individual, and I just think that now it's one thing you can say, oh well, and I'm just using him as an example because we're talking about political views. But so you say, well, I voted for him and, I realized that, maybe I made a mistake. So I'm trying to do a better job of listening to understand and not just listen to respond. So I would hear that person out in their reasons. But if they continue with this, oh yeah, and I hope he comes back and I hope he runs again because I'm going to vote for him or I'm going to do this. And, you have a problem with Black Lives Matter, women's rights, and pretty much same thing Trump does. So
Okay.
I will have honestly, and people can say whatever they like. I'm gonna be looking at you crazy. I'm gonna have a problem with you, and I'm not gonna be able to fool with you at all. I can't. I don't care how great you are outside of that. I'm be like, you know what? No, no.
So you just basically just left your soulmate.
Yeah,
You let Trump intervene with you being happy in life.
My soulmate wouldn't like that lunatic.
Exactly.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that, man. That's surprised. You know why you don't know it? Because you left the dinner before it was over.
No. I'm finished dinner. Go ahead, Brandon.
But it could be reversed. You can say, hey, I'm an Obama fan, and you dated somebody that's like, well, I don't like Obama. I don't like anything he stands for. So it could still be reversed. So, I mean, you might have been in that situation.
Well, here's the thing. And because, I love Obama, to death. And I say that to other people that says they love Trump. But you know what happened is I explain why. And then they might explain to me why. And then we have a mutual understanding in the middle. And then my thing is, my point to say is like, hey, I'm not trying to get you to like Obama. I'm just trying to get you to understand why I liked Obama or why I go for Obama. And if they're just as mature as I am, they're going to understand and say, you know what? That's right. I get that. I understand where you come from. Let's go have a beer or, me, vodka. Let's go have some vodka. Right. That's where it's at. I mean, we need more people like that, basically,
Well, I'm not one of those people. I've learned some things since doing this podcast with CJ Brandy. I am toxic and I am immature.
You are.
I am so immature.
I know I'm kind of playing the fence right now. I'm gonna say this: in the dating world that we're living right now, at this point, you might just end up dating somebody that, Trump. Because at this point, you might end up being single, because just the way the world is working.
So basically, you agree with me. Go ahead, just say it. It's okay to say you agree with me. You say just go ahead and say I gave you some nuggets. Some life nuggets.
You said it. You did a good job. Thank you. You said it.
See, I appreciate that.
As long as you believe in yourself, nobody else believes as much as you believe in yourself. So I'm glad that you got some knowledge today.
You're gonna be sitting at a dinner table one day in the future with somebody across from them, and then they're gonna say something that you probably wouldn't have liked, and it's not good. It had to be politics or whatever, and then you're gonna think back to this conversation and be like, you know what? CJ was right. I gave this person, and he turned out being that guy. So you can thank me when it comes up, okay?
I already said thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
How many times did you have to see? How many times do you have to want me to say thank you?
I need a convincing though. That's why
Thank you, CJ. You are so right.
Much better. So
I work in sales, right? So I'm gonna be that shit.
Yeah, I know.
That was definitely a sales moment. You are so right.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna wrap this one up here. So
yeah,
Yolanda, thanks for the question and the
yes, Yolanda, if you're listening, watching, thank you for the question. We'll just all we'll disagree to agree to disagree.
Nah, I can't go with that.
Let CJ be right today. Just let him be right. Let him have it.
I can't go with that.
Let him stay on his high horse today. He can have it. You're right. You're so right, CJ. Yeah.
I can guarantee I will. There are a lot of people who say that I'm right.
Okay.
Well, this is not a right or wrong situation. I'll put it like that.
No, I
see how I'm right in saying that too.
Yeah, they'll probably say I'm stubborn.
Yeah.
They'll probably say I'm stubborn, and I am stubborn.
Sometimes you just got to move in silence, let people have their moment.
I'm gonna be disappointed if nobody agrees with me though.
But that's okay. Hey,
they be like, we don't disagree. We don't agree with you, CJ. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be stressed the whole day.
That's okay. You'll be all right. You'll live through it. You'll make it through.
All right. Well, Brandon, we want to thank you for coming on, and this is going to do it for this episode. And
yes,
Yeah, we're,
Y'all
we're, we're
have a
looking
good evening.
forward. For anybody who's watching, if you got some more topics you want us to talk about, let us know, and we'll get on the air. If you want to come in
I'm
and
getting
join
on
us
that.
like Brandy did today, this evening,
Yeah.
please do, because it's fun. It's
Yeah,
fun.
Didn't
We
plan.
Brandy.
work
I didn't
together.
plan to be here that long. I
Well,
didn't plan
thank
to be
you.
here that long.
No,
We
don't do
enjoyed
that.
you being in.
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of got caught up in questions that I wasn't prepared for, but that's okay.
That's
Y'all
all
have a
right.
good
That's
day.
that's probably why you wasn't right. That's all right though. So we
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
what it was. I wasn't right because I didn't know what I was going to expect, but it's
So
okay.
it's okay.
Bye, y'all. Bye,
but
Did
y'all. Have a good
well,
day.
did you
hold
want
on,
to give out
hold
your
on.
yeah?
Yeah, you want to give out your social media if you want, and you give out an inspirational. How about an inspirational something before we leave? That's what we do sometimes. Something to leave them with, and some thoughts, something
I
thought.
already said it. Peace of mind is the best thing you have, no matter how much you're in love with somebody. If it's toxic, walk away.
Oh, great one. I like it.
All right, CJ, you got something before we go?
Nope, just CJ the Gray. That's it.
CJ DeGray.
2 minute Mike's podcast. 2 minute Mike's. I can't even remember it at Gmail.
Yeah,
I
tune
can't
in with
remember
Mike's
it.
Gmail. Yeah,
I can't remember.
or hit us up on the page, and we'll bring it to the podcast live and direct. So, and I don't have anything either. Did she go? Well, we have Brandy rolled out. All right,
She kicked you out.
so she could do that. So yeah, that's gonna do it. So we look forward to seeing you guys again next week. And remember, love is the answer. Who cares what the question is? That's all I've got. That's all I got.
Okay, have a good one.